Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I am playing Modern, and this is a deck that I actually helped build with subscribers Alexa and Michael. They are more casual players. They're not on the circuit grinding. They just occasionally show up to Modern, and Alexa had been working on this black-white deck with Urza Saga, like Urza Saga, Orzhov Midrange, since Modern Horizons 2 came out. And they had a couple events coming up and wanted to consult on the list, and we did a coaching session. We hung out, the three of us, on a call and just built this deck card by card from the ground up, switched around what was going on. You'll notice Urza Saga is not in this deck. We had a conversation about what it's adding to the deck, how often you're winning games with Urza Saga versus unable to cast your spells because you have Urza Saga, how much deck space the Saga package was taking up for all the little tutor bullets, and we came to the conclusion that black-white midrange, probably just a better deck, better way to do the thing that they were trying to do. And that's the deck we have before you. Black-white, or Orzhov Stoneblade, also known as Deadguy Ale, if you're very old like me. Deadguy Ale didn't have Stoneforge Mystic in it originally because it was not a card that existed way before the printing of this one. It was a black-white deck with discard and efficient creatures and land destruction. We definitely have discard and efficient creatures. We even technically have land destruction. We got to Vindicate in the deck. And this thing's just full of hate bears and ways to kill your opponent and gain advantage. We got Thoughtseize and Inquisition, Stoneforge Mystic, the classic curve, check your hand for removal, jam Stoneforge, see what happens. 4x Dauthi Voidwalker. There's a lot of graveyard activity in Modern right now. Taking rid of that. That stops the scam decks. It slows down Izzet Murktide. Just a lot to like about Dauthi Voidwalker. That's the only 4 of in the deck other than Stoneforge Mystic and lands. Discard attached to creatures with Tide Hollow Scholar and Turok Dreadcantor. Then at the top end, a bunch of payouts for Stoneforge Mystic. We got Sword of Feast and Famine, Sword of Fire and Ice, Kaldra, and Batterskull. Kaya's Guile is a huge reason to be Orzhov in Modern. Just all the words on this card are great. You'll find some way to line this up against every matchup. I'm a big fan. There are 4 of these across the 75. The 4th one is in the sideboard, but this is a big reason to be in a deck like this, and we leaned into it pretty hard. Then for science, we got 1 of each 4-mana Planeswalker here, Wandering Emperor and Sorin the Mirthless. These are both powerful, but in different ways. They'll be good in different matchups, but either one is one that you're pretty happy to jam into play after you've cast a discard spell, dug out removal with a Stoneforge, and then 4 mana, bang. Here's some repeatable source of card advantage. Ultimately, this is good, clean Magic. Efficient answers, 2-for-1 threats, efficient disruption attached to creatures. Kind of refreshing in the hyper-busted Modern format these days, where people are casting 2 or 3 Griefs on turn 1, or we got turn 2 8/8 creatures, or Primeval Titan on turn 3, plus give it haste and you're dead. There's all this stuff that happens in Modern, and I'm excited to try to approach it fairly. So that's what we're going to do. Alexa and Michael, this is your Orzhov Stoneblade list that we worked on together. Let's go play it. I'm on the play in game 1, and I have this nasty little discard curve I'm going to keep. This is almost exactly what you keep this deck for. I'd prefer that the Sculler were a Stoneforge Mystic, but I'm not going to get picky. I'm going to start with an Inquisition and hope that there are cards in their hand that cost less than 3, or 3 or less. Hangerback Walker and Patchwork Automaton. Okay, we got Hardened Scales is our enemy here. Hangerback Walker is a beating. Patchwork Automaton's actually really easy to clean up with Aya's Guile. I'm going to take the Walker. They're also both 2-drops, so they'd have to accelerate somehow to get them into play. Urza Saga might be trouble to deal with. There's a Forest, and they rip the Hardened Scales off the top. Life is great. Ooh, Vindicate. That can answer Hardened Scales. Don't worry about it. It actually answers Urza Saga, which I'm even more excited about. I'm going to Sculler and take this Automaton. I know it's the only non-land card in their hand. Automaton's gone. And is Saga, Nexus, Pendelhaven, and Forest. Went with Inkmoth Nexus over Urza Saga. Fascinating. Kaya's Guile can blow that out. Ooh, Voidwalker. I'm going to attack first. In there with our beatdowns. I think I want a Dothy Voidwalker plus Slotzie's my opponent. I want to add to the board. There's a good chance they didn't even draw a spell, but if they did, I want it. Just stay on top of things here. Yep, no spell, that's fine. Handful of lands. We can answer the Inkmoth Nexus with Kaya's Guile. We can answer the Urza Saga with Vindicate. And now I'm attacking for 5 a turn. Pendelhaven. Alright. Interesting, they're just not going after this Urza Saga at all. They're just in on poison beats. Yeah, I take 2 poison, not a huge deal. Cool. Kaya's Guile, great answer to that. I'm not going to play the Stoneforge, I don't need it. I just want to stabilize, make sure I'm alive. I'm going to bash for 5. Then I'm going to Kaya's Guile them if they come into the red zone again this turn. And then I'm going to Vindicate the Urza Saga. And then we're out of here. That's my plan anyway. Let's see if it plays out that way. Uh-oh. 4 mana spell. Walking Ballista. That's kind of a beating. It comes in as a 3/3. See Guile. Exile opponent's graveyards. Make a 1/1 white spirit. I'm going to do Sacrifice mode plus 1/1 white spirit. Sucks we have to use this way, but that was a good draw. Each opponent attacks a creature, make a spirit. We're going for it. They can kill one of my creatures on the way out. Going after the one that gives them a threat back. Makes sense. And they can deal 1 to me for good measure. I get a 1/1. That can tangle with Inkmoth Nexus. They're holding the Patchwork Automaton. And I know they have another land. If I attack for 4 right now, they're at 9. And then the Voidwalkers are unblockable attackers after that. I don't really want Urza Saga to be a factor of this game. Yeah, I'm just going to go after the Saga with the Vindicate like I planned. I'm going to attack with both creatures. Just pushing damage where I can. They could play Automaton and then fire up Inkmoth Nexus for 1 poison this turn. I'm not going to leave back my spirit to block that. Okay, here comes a poison. How much poison are you doing? We're doing the Pendelhaven or just 1 and then cast your creature. Okay, they are pushing poison. Probably a reasonable decision. Awesome, really wanted to land here. Now I can cast both my spells. And my Voidwalker plus this turn plus 2 Voidwalkers next turn is 6 unblockable damage, and I get to leave back my spirit. Stoneforge Mystic, start with that one. I'm going to get Cauldra, which is an additional threat that can win the game. And lose a life because they've been attacking me with poison this whole game. Don't really care about life points. And off you go. Even Walking Ballista can't take lethal off the board here. They can't get through my spirit, even if they had a bunch of pump spells. There we go. Just disrupt and apply pressure. Classic Magic the Gathering. Chris Bakula, this one's for you. Bending Needle can turn off Inkmoth Nexus. Fatal Push hits basically their whole deck. Engineered Explosives can be really good here. Kaya's Guile is good. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. This hits basically their whole deck. Alright, we're going pretty aggro here on the sideboard plan. Kaya's Guile's great. Even Engineered Explosives has text. 5, maybe 7 things I'm bringing in here. What's less good? Anguish Unmaking. I think all of these removal spells are better than this one. Having a generic card like Anguish Unmaking in the main is fine because it answers whatever. But now that we know what we need to answer, we can get more specific. Sort of Fire and Ice doesn't help us get through. Feast and Famine. Green Black. we're not really connecting with any of these. Yeah, that's actually really interesting how good Stoneforge Mystic even is. Like, Caldra's great, but... Oh, on the Voidwalker, they're all great, because it's unblockable. I'm going to shave Batterskull, because that one, your life points may or may not matter in this matchup, and they're very good at blocking. I think Sorin's too slow. Wandering Emperor is great, exiling an attacker in this deck. Big deal. I think I'm going to trim a Thoughtseize. There's a good chance that their hand will be empty after turn 2 or 3, and the discard spells won't find a target. I'm going to go way lower on Thoughtseizes. Do I want Batterskull back in for the third Thoughtseize? There's also Damn in my sideboard. There's 2 in the main, but that's a Wrath of God in a creature matchup. It's a sorcery, though. That's kind of rough. I am going to bring Batterskull back in. They don't always go for poison. A lot of options in this matchup, though. Ooh, the 1-lander and the 1-land comes into play tapped, but I have Fatal Push, Fracture, and Pithing Needle in this hand. I also have Cauldra, though. It's kind of already a multi 6, so I'm just going to multi 6. Oh yeah, rewarded. This hand's great. I'm going to keep it in bottom Sword of Feast and Famine. It's got a ton of removal here. They've got their turn 1 Hardened Scales. Godless Shrine, get in there. Inquisition. Let's take a look. We've got the Ozolith, Zabaz, Automaton, and Hangerback Walker. Automaton eventually gets got by Kaya's Guile. The Ozolith is really powerful, but I'm holding Fracture. I don't really want them to double spell next turn. But because they're on the play, if they play Hangerback Walker after Patchwork Automaton, then Kaya's Guile doesn't work anymore. I might just have to take Hangerback Walker here. Yeah, that's the toughest one to clean up. I'm taking the Hangerback. Then they can decide if they're going to double spell next turn or play the 2-drop. That was a really good draw. Disappointed. Patchwork Automaton. Got some options here. I can just destroy Urza Saga with Fracture. It is an enchantment. I could also do that later and fire off Inquisition this turn. Try to collapse their further development. If I Fracture the Urza Saga, then they go Zabaz Ozolith. This is a 3/3. And they have Zabaz in the way of Kaya's Guile. I think what I want to do here is Inquisition and take the Zabaz. Okay. I'm going to do that. I don't know how important or how they would prioritize activating Urza Saga here, because there's also a bet where I can just pass the turn, and instead of casting any of their spells, they hold up their Urza Saga activation. Oh, right, but this gets extra counters because of Hardened Scales. I think they would have just made the 5/5 instead of sinking mana into Saga. And if they take the turn off to cast Ozolith, then I get to clip the Saga. Okay, Ozolith it is. They have a 3/3. Take my 3. And end step, fetch. Get a Godless Shrine while I can. Shattered Sanctum arrives untapped at this point. Now I can Kaya's Guile while the getting's good. I could Fracture the Saga before they can tutor anything up. I could Fracture the Ozolith. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you can remove counters from the Ozolith to another creature. The Automaton's counters would go onto Ozolith. I think I want to spend all my mana the next 2 turns. Kaya's Guile costs 3 now, and then I can play my 4th land and double spell next turn. 1/1 or gain 4. I think I want the 1/1. Yeah, I'm just going to Guile right now. Each opponent sacks a creature. The counters move on to the Ozolith. Kaya's Guile, such a good card. That Urza Saga draw was so good. Working through that thing has proven to be a bit of a challenge. They get a 2/2 and they get to tutor something. The Ozolith's already in play. I kind of expected Zabaz here. Zabaz it is. She's a 2/2 because of Hardened Scales. Forest from hand. And Hardened Scales plus Ozolith is super messed up because the counters come off of your creature, go onto the Ozolith, and then when they move back onto the creature, you get +1 because of the scales. I'm going to play my Stoneforge Mystic here. And Kaldra can try to race. Zabaz can fly. But yeah, Kaldra is insane on defense. It doesn't matter how big the things are. And they don't have white mana to make Zabaz fly. I'm just going to pass a turn here. Dismember in the end step. That's pretty good. That was their last card in hand. Oh, and then they're tapping mana. Oh, God. Tap to untap non-token artifacts you control. Exile the top card of your library you may play this turn. Wow. Alright, this is some cool new tech. I have not seen this card in this deck before. I can try to Fracture Zabaz, but that's actually a nightmare because it's a modular card. If I kill Zabaz, she puts 5 counters onto Construct, which becomes 6 counters because of Hardened Scales, and her 5 counters go onto Hardened Scales, which become another 6 counters next turn, or go into the Ozolith, which becomes 6 counters next turn. I might just destroy the Ozolith before damage to take less from all these creatures, because the Construct cares how many of these objects are in play. Artifacts. Now I take 7 instead of 8, moving in the right direction. Vindicate. Okay. I can play Silent Clearing, which can draw a card, and I can Vindicate something. Now if I hit Zabaz, her counters only move once. How much do I care about this? Maria. Untap non-token artifacts you control. Exile the top card. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want this deck to draw cards. And Zabaz is the only non-token artifact they control. I'm just going to Vindicate her. There's only one place to put the tokens right now, onto the Construct. No tricks. The Maria doesn't do anything. I can block this 7 power this turn, draw a card, and just hope for one of my many removal spells. And this is the residuals from the Urza Saga. I'm at 4. End of turn, I'm going to draw a card with Silent Clearing. Come on, removal. Stoneforge. And Sculler. Okay. I'm going to cast Sculler first. See what's going on over there. Cameo Safekeeping. Gains Hexproof and Indestructible. You gain 2 life, sure. That's fine. This Sculler can chump block Construct for the turn. And I go to 1 from the attack. And then Stoneforge Mystic can put in Kaldra next turn. Or I probably want Batterskull at this point. I want both. I can choose. Okay, don't draw cards, please. Nothing good. Besajuing my creature. Oh no! That sucks. I mean, I can still cast Batterskull. I'm going to put Godless Shrine into play tapped. Chump block with the Construct, or chump block the Construct with Stoneforge Mystic. Go to 1, play Batterskull. Then I can chump block the Construct with Batterskull and go to 2 and try to draw some removal spells. Or the 7th land for the Kaldra. Here we go. Just treading water here. Need an opponent to draw a card that's not good. Welding Jar. That doesn't really matter. They should attack with both creatures. Oh wow, okay. I can't block the Maria anyway, because 1 + 4 is still less than the Construct size. So this is 3 free life points to work with. May or may not matter. But now a removal spell keeps me alive for a turn. An instant speed removal spell. A land cast Kaldra. Oh yeah. Who's the robot deck now? Alright, now this thing's just going to get in the way of the Construct forever. And really important here, it's paying off. If they had attacked with Maria last turn, I would be at 2 instead of 5, and they could just attack with both creatures and kill me. Ancient Stirrings, yikes. Please don't find anything that helps here. On my next turn, I can equip Batterskull to the Germ, and then I have a 9/9 Vigilance, Lifelink, First Strike, Haste, Indestructible, etc., etc. I just need the Stirrings to miss. Patchwork Automaton, that's just some dumb creature. That doesn't matter. And now there's 2 artifacts that they can start flipping cards with Maria. Alright, let's rumble. Let's find an answer to Maria. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The equip is more important. I would like to gain a huge chunk of life right now and start to build my buffer. No way they're going to block. My creature tramples, doesn't matter. Let's just put you to 9 and me to 14. They drew for turn. They do have one Maria activation. There it is. Flipped a land. Don't care. Oh, mana's being tapped. It looks like an X spell. Ballista. Glad I just gained a ton of life. Doesn't matter. Okay, the construct's 10-10, but that just doesn't matter. My Voltron is untouchable. And I'm untapping with Kaya's Guile that I can kick her. Oh my god, Solitude. Alright. Let's be very careful not to lose this game. And they have to block because this is a 9-9, and that is their life total. One of their creatures is about to die. That's cool. I get to do the first strike thing, which exiles this creature. Neat. And what's the move now? I could Solitude. Even getting through the Automaton is fine. I'm just going to Solitude the Maria. That thing draws 2 cards a turn. I'm not really interested in playing that game. Get out of here. Right now, all I'm trying to do is maintain the status quo because I'm winning under the status quo. I'm now up to 23 life as well. I'm just picking off my Solitude with Walking Ballista. Sure. They can pay 4 to put 2 counters on Walking Ballista with Hardened Scales. That doesn't really matter, though. Played a second Walking Ballista. That also doesn't matter. Trying to think of what cards in their deck I care about anymore. If they have another Boseiju, they can clear the Batterskull. But only if I'm not holding up 3 mana. Like I could just bounce Batterskull in response, replay it later. Temporary reprieve. Glad this Batterskull was in my deck. I did have it sideboarded out briefly and then decided at the very end to bring it back. And my opponent actually could have won this game if they did the combat math earlier on. Kaya's Guile. I can use all modes. Don't think that matters. Not yet, anyway. I'm just going to attack and see what they come up with for blocks. If anything, they could just take the 9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am going to play the the Urborg because that gives me Bounce Batterskull and Kaya's Guile with Kicker or Entwine, whatever this word is. Entwine. End of turn, I'm just going to fire this off for every available mode. Oh, did I count wrong? Oh, the Entwine is 3, not 2. Okay. Never mind. Could have held back that Urborg. Okay. Kaya's Guile occurred. And my 1/1 flyer is just going to get picked off anyway. I can attack with it. And we did it. I thought for sure we were dead, but the steady Batterskull gained some life. Opponent didn't do the combat math correctly, bought enough time to cast Kaldra, and then we just roboted up. That was some good clean magic. Let's keep going. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 2. I'm going to keep this hand. Hands like this can be a little bit of a trap because there's no threat here. But I'm not going to mulligan a hand with this much interaction. I just need to hope to draw a threat at some point. And I'm going to go all the way to 16 to shock and a Thoughtseize. We got some Merfolk. All right. The Curse Catcher is awkward because it's a terrible card, but it also makes my removal wonky. And I don't want to spend a spell on it. I'm just going to take the Curse Catcher. This deck and hand specifically full of removal is good. Wandering Emperor, that's exactly the kind of card I was looking for. Now I have a plan to actually win this game. Something to play towards. I have Lord of Atlantis in hand. 2 islands are gone. It's gonna fatal push this right now. Clear it out while I can. That leaves up Kaya's Guile or Anguished Unmaking for next turn cycle. Here's land number 4 to get my Wandering Emperor into play. Just like we drew it up. Curse Catcher, tilt. They can counter me now. This is non-creature spell, instant or sorcery. All right, Wandering Emperor still plays. I'm not going to cast a spell into the Curse Catcher. I'm just going to pass now. I can Wandering Emperor if I want to. Merfolk Trickster, sure. You got it. They have Glasspool Mimic and 2 mystery cards in hand right now. I'm going to fetch. Here's another basic swamp. I think that's fine. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Wandering Emperor. Okay, drawing a card in response. Emergency. What am I going to do about this situation? Let's hope they don't find a counter spell. I'm sure the deck plays some. I just don't know what specifically they are. I'm going to make a 2/2 and block Curse Catcher. That gets me on board better than minusing to exile a creature. My life, I have plenty of life. I'm not worried about the gain 2, and this leaves Wandering Emperor with more loyalty and with me with a board state, which I did not have a second ago. Master of the Pearl Trident. Okay. For some reason, doesn't have any art on Magic Online. Cool. Small indie company. Ooh. Tarak has a 4/3. That sounds good. Right off the top, let's knock their hand out and have the biggest creature in play. Zap, we hit the Glasspool Mimic and another Master of the Pearl Trident. And I don't have any islands. I'm going to make another 2/2. And I'm going to attack with my first 2/2. I'm very happy to trade with a Master of the Pearl Trident if it's offered. Probably should have attacked first, so they didn't know what the decisions they needed to make. Tide Shaper is an annoying draw because that turns on the Island Walk, but I don't care about much else that they could present. Okay, 3/3 first strike. I'm going to attack with my 3/3 first strike, just poke through here and there. And I'm going to Kaya's Guile this turn. This Unmaking, taking out Master at some point. Oh, there's the Tide Shaper. Oh, this is going to be a blowout. They're going to Tide Shape one of my lands. I'm going to unmake the Tide Shaper, and then I'm going to block all their creatures. Just a safe little attack. That was very responsible. Take out Tide Shaper. They could sack the Curse Catcher to make this cost 1 more. I'll just pay, but Curse Catcher's dying either way. This is just like a free way to tap my land. I know how to play around days. I've been here before. Stoneforge Mystic. Or I could Kaya's Guile and set up a huge attack. All right, I'm going to +1 counter my Samurai. And I'm just going to Guile here. Free combat. Sack a creature, and I make a 1/1. I have a bunch of 3/3 creatures, or X3 creatures, and their best creature is X2. Either way, they end up with a 2/2 here. This seems like a shockingly favorable setup. My removal heavy situation. We're kind of playing against the same deck again. In a weird way of they're going to put a bunch of permanents in play and try to kill me with them. Difference is like Pithing Needle's bad, Fracture's bad. But all of these other removal spells are still good. Feast and Famine, not so great. Fire and Ice, insane. And I do like some hand interaction. Tidehollow Sculler is a little risky because Engineered Explosives on 2 is kind of my game plan, but many of my creatures cost 2, so I guess I shouldn't really plan around that too much. The Dam is great. Actual Wrath of God, huge in this matchup. Aldra's nice. Solitude's nice. Sorin, once again, is probably the weakest link here. And this is my plan. Let's do it. I've got kind of a tough hand here on the draw. I have turn 2 Stoneforge, but no removal, no interaction of any kind. How far do I think Stoneforge is going to go? I'll try this. Trust my deck to provide the answers. There are a lot of them. And then being a Tide Shaper deck, I kind of want to land heavy hand because my deck is really heavy on the pip requirement. Like, I got blacks and whites and spells that want specific types of mana, and turning one of my lands into an island could just screw me off of spells. ETB tapped land. I like that start from my opponent. Oh yeah, trust the deck to provide. Turn 1 Inquisition into turn 2 Stoneforge. That one discard spell turned this hand from like rug to bananas. And by bananas, I mean just like fine. Unfortunately, there's 2 Silvergill Adepts, and those creatures draw cards when they come into play, which is the type of thing I want to discourage from my opponent. I could take the Master, but I'm not an island deck. Svaelin is pretty tough for me to beat, but they're really far away from casting that one. They can't cast any of these blues until they find another blue land, which Silvergill Adept does help them do. I'm going to take an Adept and hope I don't regret it. My game plan is to punch through what you're doing and deliver threats. And what they're trying to do is cantrip into the second blue source to unlock their hand. Right now, there's only 1 castable spell in their hand, and I'm going to try to brand them with that. There's the Mutavault. We're going to see one of these Merfolk again. Here's Adept, revealing Svaelin a second time. And Stoneforge Mystic, let's go. Let's get to work. I think I just want Kaldra, though Sword of Fire and Ice is nice. That's actually really close. Nah, it's Kaldra. Let's just put the gas on. If they didn't find that second blue source, if they stumbled even a little bit, and maybe even if they didn't, this Kaldra is going to put real hurt on them. They can use Merfolk Trickster to kind of skip through it a little bit, but that's a temporary solution. Moment of truth. Bummer. They spiked. Found the island. Let's see what they want to do with it. Probably just get Svaelin into play. Oh, Master. Okay. Drawing a 1-drop makes perfect sense. That lets them attack here. I think my plan here is to just Kaldra and Fatal Push. If I don't get these Merfolk under control, they'll overrun me. And having 2 equipment in the hand, and it's the 2 creature equipment, I can meaningfully impact combat in a variety of ways. Next turn, I can put in Batterskull and cast Voidwalker. The only thing I'm really worried about at this point is Svaelin just drawing a bunch of cards and taking over the game, but putting the gas on with Kaldra gets ahead of that. I'm just going to push the Master right now before they can Violent a Curse Catcher and counter it or some stupid thing. They got Trickster, Svaelin, and 2 mystery cards, 1 mystery card on another island. Vial's only on 1, and they only have 4 mana. They can't Trickster and Svaelin right now. They could attack with Mutavault and Silvergill Adept, then Trickster my Kaldra, and then Svaelin on the following turn. Alright, yeah, just get your card draw creature in play. Makes perfect sense. Gives all the other Merfolk ward. Tide Hollow Skuller's nice, I gotta say. I'm gonna skull my opponent. And this surprise Batterskull, I hope will take over the game. Take your Trickster. You have Waterlogged Grove in hand. In for 5. And Sneaky Secret Batterskull ready to ambush this combat step. And then beat down next turn. There's with the Grove plus the Svaelin attack, they can draw 2 cards here, and Vial on 2 leaves a lot of options on the table. If they activate Mutavault, Svaelin becomes indestructible. Surprise. And between the Vial on 2 and the Mutavault, Svaelin doesn't have to die this turn, but I can still block it and gain 4 life. If they drew another Trickster, they could tap my Batterskull. Alright, cool. Ooh, didn't activate Mutavault. Alright, that's why. Just had a second copy of the legend. Makes perfect sense. Ooh. I want to be careful with Anguish Unmaking, because if they Vial in a 2-drop Merfolk as Svaelin... Oh, this is Exile. It doesn't even matter. Now we're good. Okay. I'm going to unmake Svaelin. Make sure it's just indestructible. Yep. Unmake. They could Vial in Vidalian Hexcatcher and sacrifice 2 Merfolk to save Svaelin, which I could have played around by playing my land. They could have Force of Negation and a blue card, but then their hand's empty and I'm winning on board. This looks like a pretty tough spot for them. And they agree. We're 2-0 with Orzhov Stoneblade. Let's keep rolling.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
On the draw for round 3, this is the worst hand I've seen. I'm not going to trust a one-lander, especially a single basic land. I'm going to mulligan this one. I want a playable hand. I want to be able to cast spells. Like this one, I'd rather go the other way. I would rather keep a 5-lander than a 1-lander. I'm going to keep this and put... I think Godless Shrine goes to the bottom. Yeah, all right. Thoughtseize Stoneforge. That's the kind of 2-spell hand I'm interested in. An Arid Mesa. Could be Burn. Or some 4-color something or other. I don't know. Let's have a peek. It is Breach combo. I'm going to take this. This is actually really tough because Ledger Shredder is a creature that accumulates value. I would like to take that. I can't protect my Stoneforge. They have 2 removal spells. Breach plus Grinding Station is a 2-card. And it needs a little more setup, but if they find more action, that could become a win. I'm going to take the Ledger Shredder. If I can keep the board clear and buy time, which is what I need to do for this matchup, or in this position with this hand that I have. Sucks to use Thoughtseize against a combo deck and take a creature, but don't have a Fatal Push in my hand right now. Just floating their Grinding Station out there. Makes sense. That Ledger Shredder will live in infamy. I'm going to keep my fetch land back because that turns on Revolt, and they are an Emery deck, which is a creature that I can't Fatal Push without Revolt. I'm going to grab sort of Fire and Ice here, and it's kind of rough to try to Fire and Ice through Lightning Bolts. I could just take Batterskull and make my 5 land drops and cast it, but that's really slow and bad. I'm going to grab Sword of Fire and Ice. This is a great match for Dothy Voidwalker, if we can get that going. Found their land. Their hand is Breach, Lightning Bolt, Mystery card. Another one. Okay, Stoneforge Mystic, get after it. This will flush out the Lightning Bolt. This time I am going to get the Batterskull. Now I have both a potent weapon and something to carry it. It goes super long here, but I have them. I'm going to leave my fetch uncracked, still protecting that Fatal Push. Another Fatal Push. Not really where I want to be. I'm going to cast Sword of Fire and Ice. Just getting into play. They're just playing Draw Go over there. Aya's Guile. Oh, that's really good. Having them exile their graveyard, and I can make a 1/1 in the end step. Yeah, I'm not going to play Batterskull here. Make them sack a creature and make a 1/1, or exile their graveyard, make a 1/1. And the 1/1 can pick up the sword. Exile all opponents' graveyards, make a 1/1. That's where I want to be. That slows down the Breach. Let's see if we can get to work here. We have another bolt. That's fine. Still a 2-for-1 where I come from. Okay. Pass the turn. Might move into the Batterskull space shortly. They're still playing Draw Go. Now I can play Batterskull, leaving up the Fatal Push. This is bigger than Lightning Bolt and Unholy Heat. They are a Teferi deck. Teferi bouncing my Germ would be disappointing. Maybe just don't have it. I feel like Teferi would have been in play if they had it. Okay, so they're going to Grinding Station, sack and Grinding Station, try to throw 3 cards in the graveyard, and then Value Breach or YOLO Breach. Or maybe we're just combo dead. We'll find out soon. Ledger Shredder. That's a card I can kill. Thassa's Oracle. Okay, just Value Shredder. Discarded Springleaf Drum. Oracle is not going to win with a trigger here. I'm going to Fatal Push by tapping my Verdant Catacombs. Take out the Ledger Shredder. And here we go. Equip the Big Daddy. You can't block. You're going to take 8 here and I draw a card. Take the 6 from combat, and then I shoot you for another 2 and I draw. And I'm a little worried here because they're not dead and they have a tasty graveyard with Breach in hand. This Oracle's in play, though. I can Solitude it. I don't think they play 2, unless they can sacrifice this thing somehow. There's the Emery we've been waiting this whole game to Fatal Push. Mox Amber in the graveyard. That is a combo. I can respond to Mox Amber by Fatal Pushing Emery. They can replay Emery, though, with their 1 blue. Okay, that doesn't do it. Yeah, I'm just going to have to hope there's only 1 Oracle in the deck. Or they spend their other mana somehow. And not having a white card here is tough. I'm 1 mana short of doing everything I want to do. Mox Amber's back. Milling yourself for more here. Found a second Emery. I am fairly confident this deck only plays 1 Oracle. Like, at some point, they're going to have to Lightning Bolt their own Oracle. And then I can Solitude. And they're operating on minimal resources. Like, each Mox Amber exiles the 3 cards, and then there's only 3 cards left. And they'll need those 3 cards to both Lightning Bolt the Oracle and then play the Oracle. Springleaf Drum's going for red mana now. Okay, sure. Okay, looks like they are trying to cast Teferi here and bounce their Oracle. Is that the plan? I'll respond to Teferi with Solitude and exile the Oracle and hope that their 1 card in hand isn't Lightning Bolt. Okay, we're still going here. I think now's my time. Yeah, I'm just gonna make my shot right now. Oh, I didn't need to crack that. Whoops. Here's Solitude. The card, 1 mystery card in their hand is Lightning Bolt. I may have just punted, but I feel like they're getting to the point where they can get Teferi into play, check me with Teferi, and then bolt me. I don't want them exiling more stuff. Okay, now I can F6. Oracle's safely removed from play. Now we can figure out where they're going to go with this game plan. And they can just, like, Teferi, bounce my Germ token. Oh, no, they can't because I have Sword on it. Bounce my Sword, pass. Second Emery. Unless they do have 2 Oracles in their build. I don't know. Let's find out. I did the thing I could do. And we narrowly survived that experience. I wonder how important the loot they got off casting Oracle last turn was. Because if Oracle was just in their hand with all the same stuff, they win. But obviously, I don't know if that's, like, true. Or if they had what they needed. Maybe they found it. Okay. Damping Sphere shuts off Breach combo like a boss. Pithing Needle can name Grinding Station. Fracture hits Breach or Grinding Station. Kaya's Guile hits the graveyard. They are a Ragavan deck. I don't want to go completely empty on removal. Exile black and red cards from the graveyard. Their black and red cards are just Breach and the Unholy Heats and Bolts. That's not nothing, but it's also not, like, a lot. I don't think I want to trust Tide Hollow Sculler. Sorin, once again, not doing any work here. I think we can play without Wandering Emperor and just let the Stoneforge Mystic and Dothy Voidwalkers do their thing. Dam is not a good card in this matchup. It's too slow. Just lots of instant speed removal in the deck already. Fatal Push can hit the Rags and Ledger Shredders. And the Emery with a little help. So I'll shave a Thoughtseize. How do I think Thoughtseize or Fatal Push will be better? I think Fatal Push will be better because I'm pretty good at shutting down the combo half of the deck, or at least compared to other decks that I've played, I'm pretty good at doing that. Maybe this sort of Feast and Famine is not necessary, and I can get a Sanctifier in the mix. Just kind of passive Graveyard Hate, also blocks Ragavan like a boss and can't be removed. The Solitude was great. Unmaking hits, Breach. I'll shave another Thoughtseize here and run it like this. Kaya's Guile, another huge piece of this game plan. Check your hand for removal into Graveyard Hate. Keep. If they turn 1 Ragavan, that sucks. Uh-oh. Okay. Springleaf Drum is not Ragavan. Sanctifier. Okay. Multiple pieces of Graveyard Hate. Backed by Disruption. What are you working with? Wear Tear, Breach, Ledger Shredder, Grinding Station. I'm going to take Ledger Shredder because I don't care about Breach or Grinding Station or Wear Share with Voidwalker in play. Here's the Hallowed Fountain and deploying a Grinding Station. Oh, another piece of graveyard hate. It just doesn't stop. Voidwalker, let's go. Hateful permanents galore. Here they come. And I can pitch cast Solitude if I need to for any reason. I don't know why I would, but it's there. If they do come up with a Ragavan, I can simply put Sanctifier and Vec in front of it. Oh yeah. Look at me. I'm the Breach deck now. Straight up conceded. Shut down by my Disruption and Hate Bears. Easy game. On to the next one. We are still undefeated in games and matches. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play in round 4 with a Heartbreaker. Discard spell, bunch of 2-drops, only 1 land. I'm not going to trust this mulligan. This is even worse. We're going to 5. All good. Pretty reactive, but I'm going to roll with it. I think I'm going to put Vindicate and Swamp to the bottom. Or Vindicate and Shattered Sanctum. Dam is more efficient, and Kaya's Guile does more things than Vindicate. I want to keep 3 lands. Shattered Sanctum, and I want one of them to draw a card in case it comes to that, to refill this hand. Yeah. Or I guess I could have kept the Sanctum and just led on it. Yeah, enters the battlefield tapped, and then it's a dual land. Yeah, that might have been better than Swamp to keep in my hand. Let's see how this goes. That was a painful mull to 5. I just don't trust decks like this one to give me my second land drop. Like, I have no Serum Visions, no Consider, nothing that's going to get me where I want to go. Alright, we're playing against Hammer. Sword of Fire and Ice enters the battlefield. Yikes. Or enters the revealed zone. Cool, I get to Thoughtseize. I'll take your Sigarda's Aid. Blacksmith skill. Target creature gets +2/+2, indestructible. Okay. Sword of Fire. Why did you tutor for that? Weird. Why did you keep this hand? That's even weirder. I'm gonna take the sword. Interesting. That's not what I thought we would see in the hand of my opponent who kept their hand. Horizon Canopy over Inkmoth Nexus. Another Thoughtseize, alright. If I Thoughtseize, it'll get rid of the Blacksmith skill. Yeah, that's a fine deal. They'll probably just cast it. Yeah, that's fine. At least it's gone. Silent Clearing. I can dam the Ornithopter right now, and then Kaya's Guile can clear the board. Or if I draw a land, I can Overload Dam, and then save Kaya's Guile for Inkmoth Nexus. I think I'm going to do that. Oh god, that was such a good draw. Pushing their damage in. Okay, Fatal Push. Not upset about that one. I'm just going to chill here for a minute. I have multiple instants I can cast. I think I'm going to Kaya's Guile for sack a creature, make a 1/1 here. They could just sack the Memnite, or they could sack Ornithopter and I block Memnite. Alright, yeah, just sacking Memnite makes sense. No reason to lose. 2 creatures there. Their hand is Iganjo, and nothing else. Godless Shrine. I'm going to play that tapped. And I can Fatal Push Inkmoth Nexus if they go to attack with it, and then dam the board next turn, which gets through the Urza Saga. Alright, let's see where this goes. Shadow Spear. Yeah, good call. But they don't have the mana to equip it. That's good. I'm going to chump block because I'm going to Wrath anyway. Chump block the 5/5, Overload Dam. Please cast another Memnite. Boo. Boo. I don't think I've ever overloaded Dam before. I'm excited about it. Damn! The creatures are gone, and then next turn I can play Voidwalker and hold up Fatal Push for the Inkmoth, as long as I don't get poisoned out right now. Esper Sentinel, okay. And equip it? Sure. 2/2 lifelink trample. Oh. None of these are non-creature spells. Cauldra, Batterskull, Sword of Fire and Ice. Oh, I want Fire and Ice. I can put that on my unblockable creature next turn. Pass the turn. Don't kill me. Oh, they still have like Ganjo. I guess they have to leave up the mana for that, though. I can't block with the creature that I could block with, or won't block with the creature I could block with. Kaya's Guile. Okay. I can beat up their board. Yeah, the Iganjo's actually insane here. If I attack with Voidwalker and they Iganjo it... Oh, that doesn't make any sense. No, never mind. I'm off that. I was about to say, then Iganjo goes into the Void and I can make my land drop, but no, it would kill the Voidwalker. I think I'm just going to pass here. Yeah, I'm going to send it. Paradise Mantle, whatever. Equip it, sure. All right, I'm just going to Fatal Push this thing in the end step so they don't get a card. I'll pay the extra 2. And do you have Blacksmith Skill? Kaya's Guile would have played around Blacksmith Skill, but I think it's okay. Because if you do too much with your mana, then you don't get a Ganjo. Yeah, cool. Neat trick. And I should just attack, because if I Ganjo this now, then the next creature can connect with Sword On. Yeah, I guess I should have attacked last turn and read that. Drawing with Canopy in the end step, that's good. That constricts their mana further under Iganjo. Springleaf Drum, okay. Ornithopter, okay. In the end step, I can Guile to have them sacrifice and I make a 1/1. And they were counting on that Springleaf Drum mana to Iganjo, so I get to connect with Sword of Fire and Ice at least once here. Bring in the sword. Equip the sword. I'm going to leave back my flyer just to make sure I don't get cheesed out by Inkmoth Nexus somehow. Deal 2 to you at a draw. Play Godless Shrine tapped and pass. Alright, snuck one in on them. Now, any turn where they spend mana, any turn where they pass without leaving up 3 mana, I get to do that again. Another Voidwalker, okay. Is there anything in the Void I want to play? I don't think so. Also move Sword over to Stoneforge Mystic. That's the creature I care less if it dies. Yeah, that's fine. I connect for 3 here, and the Iganjo's gone. Into the Void with it. Another Voidwalker. And equip that Voidwalker. Leaving back my flyer throughout. Make sure I don't get randomly clapped by Inkmoth Nexus. You're still Pally, okay. That one's scary. If the last card in their hand is Hammer, I lose here. Because they have Springleaf Drum for mana. They might just Shadow Spear to gain life here. At least that's what I gotta hope for. Okay, cool. I did not lose on the spot to Hammer. I'm happy with that exchange. But they didn't move Shadow Spear over. That means I get to pick off Pure Steel. Okay, let's go. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, did I miss 1 damage? Yeah. Oh, no, okay. You're just dead anyway. I did miss a damage, but they were still taking 10. Jeez. Yeah, with the Solitude and Turok here, we weren't going to lose that game from there. Yeah, that's scary. We were just like ahead that entire game, and there was still a sequence of things that would have killed us. Kaya's Guile, Fracture. This looks familiar. Pithing Needle has some hits in the deck, but also misses a lot of things, or you have to kind of guess what you're going for, and Sigarda's dips around it regardless. Probably not interested in that one. Engineered Explosives, Fatal Push, Dam, Fracture, Kaya's Guile, all looking good. Sorin, I'm sorry, someday maybe. I don't love Tide Hollow Sculler, just kind of slow for that effect. Thoughtseize is nice to interact early, but this is a deck that you can just beat on the board. Anguish Unmaking, again, the more expensive version of the things we're doing. Sort of Feast and Famine, again, the weakest equipment. I'm noticing a pattern here. Sorin, Anguish Unmaking, and sort of Feast and Famine have come out in almost every matchup. Voidwalker's nice as an an unblockable way to hold weapons, but it doesn't do a lot for the matchup. Turok is really great. They're a mono white deck, and he has pro white. Stoneforge, great. The Thoughtseizes are bad top decks in the late game, but they're really important in the early game. Vindicate can hit Urza Saga, which is otherwise kind of obnoxious, but I'm bringing in Fractures that can do that. Yeah, maybe Vindicate is too slow, and I'll go down 1 Thoughtseize. All right, here it is. New squad. I'm going to keep this, even though it's not sexy. And if I draw 2 lands in my first 3 draw steps, I'm probably dead immediately. But I have 2 1-mana pieces of interaction, and they're the type of interaction that I want. All right, we got Dam added to the party. See what's going on over there. I'm really glad this is Shadow Spear and not Esper Sentinel that they just played. 2 Hammers, March, and Nettle Cyst. It's even good. What is going on here? Well, the Fatal Push can control any number of hammers, I guess. I'm going to take the Nettle Cyst. That's the only creature in the hand. And they need to draw a land to do anything with Urza Saga. Alright, just dropping hammers into play, preparing for Pure Steel. Future Pure Steel Pallies. Do I put my fetch land in or save it? They don't have anything I would need to fetch and get Revolt, so I'll save the life and just do it now. Alright, no land, no land, no land, no land. No land. Disappointing. Fetching for Godless Shrine tapped while I can. Another Dam, okay. God, there's a lot of creature removal in this deck. I'm making a 4/4. Making a 5/5. They both become 6/6s. I don't think I need to respond to this. Even if they get something like Welding Jar, Dam says can't be regenerated. I'm not going to spend a Fatal Push to save 6 life. Life total's a resource. Just dam them out here. Damn! Did they draw a Blacksmith skill? Alright. I get to keep one of these things around. Got a 5/5 creature. Don't Pure Steal me. Silent Clearing. We're going to draw a card. Oh, just equip Shadow Spear? Sure, that plays as well. That's what I can do here. In Wandering Emperor, exile this thing, gain 2 life, and hold up Fatal Push. Maybe Dam was better to use there, but getting my Planeswalker in feels like a good call when I can still hold up removal. For Sentinel, okay. Equip Shadow Spear to that right away. Okay. And still Fatal Push that thing with mana to spare. I put a +1 counter on nothing. And then Fatal Push, or do I want to Dam? I think we're at the point of the game where they're not going to have multiple creatures in play. I'm just going to Dam this and save my instance. Pay the Troll Toll. And they're going to draw a card on the way out, it looks like. They floated mana. Silent Clearing's the only way they have to spend mana. Yep, okay, deal. Needle, okay. I can turn off my Emperor. We'll see if this control game they've been playing is going to work out for them. Gonna Fatal Push this thing. They did draw the best card in their deck, which is Pure Steel Pally. Would like it gone. Like this March of Otherworldly Light and Pithing Needle, this is a lot of defense for a deck that wants to be attacking. Let's take the light and get Sword of Fire and Ice in, and now I need a threat to attack with. They're in top deck mode. I have 1 more removal spell, and then we're in the Wild West. And they have a Silent Clearing in play. They can redraw. I can't. Not currently. Alright, got the next 2 things answered. Using their Silent Clearing. They didn't play a land or a spell last turn. They probably have some reactive protection spell. Sigard as aid. Okay. Fracture. Dope. I'm going to fracture the Pithing Needle. I think with all these Fatal Pushes geared up. Okay, Blacksmith skill. That saves the Pithing Needle. That means it doesn't save a creature. That's the reactive spell they drew the turn before last, when they didn't play a land or a spell. Keeping them hellbent though. Not mad about it. There's creatures in my deck somewhere. Someday. I am going to keep making my land drops because Caldra's in my deck somewhere. I got Sword of Fire and Ice in play. Solitude, what's up? Okay, that's a great one. Now I want them to have a creature. Yeah, sure. Even that one. Oh no, my black spells, they just don't work anymore. Whatever will I do? I'm going to cast Solitude. Boop. Uh-oh. Blacksmith skill. That kind of matters. Okay. That was a good draw. I get to connect with Sword at least once and draw an extra card. I can't damage... I can damage the Sanctifier, but it doesn't help Unless I can remove the Shadow Spear. Alright, the race is on. Ripped a Stoneforge. Let's freaking go. Time to grab Cauldra. Yeah, I'm just putting the gas on now. That was a really good sequence, the Sanctifier into Blacksmith skill. And if they draw a hammer, I'm actually in some trouble because they have Sigarda's Aid. Steel Paladin's good too. I can kill it, but not before they move to equip one of the hammers to Sanctifier. And it does have Trample. Alright, just made a land drop and passed. Good news. Costs 8 to do this the hard way? Yep. Okay. Big Bad Cauldra is coming in. Attack with both creatures. Sanctifier does have Pro Black. I guess I didn't need to attack there because they gain 3 and take 2. Alright, the Pro Black got me. Tricked me real good. I'm going to keep going face with the shocks until I find an answer. Okay, I can overload Dam. I just don't want to. Why would I do that? Nope. Okay. That does clear the Sanctifier. I'm also at 17 now, so a single Pure Steel Paladin and equip doesn't get them where they want to go. I am going to push Memnite. That thing can block Solitude in a way that I'm not interested in. To rock, okay. That has protection from white. Just Solitude attack this time. I've learned. The machine is learning. Alright, one little chumpy for the road. Just run to rock out there, and let's hang out. I have a feeling they're going to concede right now. We'll see. And concede they did. We are 4-0-8-0, have not dropped a game. Let's go play for a trophy. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the draw against an Obosh deck. Obosh tends to be like Ponza, Stone Rain stuff, or just like burn with only 1-drops. I'm going to keep my hand either way. I have a Disruptive Element in Sculler, and Kaya's Guile is good against both of the things that Obosh usually is. And I can lead on a Marsh Flats, so if their turn 1 play is Forest Utopia Sprawl, I don't get Stone Rained on turn 2. Uh-oh. Ragavan. First appearance of this jerk. Yeah, don't love this. I was ready for a Soulscar Mage or Swift Spear and just wade through it, but stupid Ragavan. Please don't take a Thoughtseize. Kaya's Guile, yikes. They could cast it here. It's not good though. It would like cost you your treasure. Oh no, you can't cast it because you need black and white and you only have one of the above. They do get to ramp into a 3-drop though, which is super fucked. Also super fucked includes this turn 2 Blood Moon. Is white or black more important to my deck? I only have 1 Plains and I have 3 Swamps. Stoneforge Mystic gets cast off Plains. Fatal Push gets cast off Swamp. I'm gonna get the Plains. I only have 1. On deck. Basic Swamp. Tilt. Okay, I guess I can't concede yet, but let's play this out. Bad start. Someone's gonna get a game off us. The audacity. They took a Solitude. Can't play that one. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Hate that, thanks. Okay, I think we're good here. I don't need to play this out. Like, there might be some world where Ragavan just never connects and I resolve Batter Skull and then win somehow, but yeah, turn 2 Blood Moon. They got me. Some sort of red prison thing. Fracture hits the Blood Moon. Engineered Explosive is pretty good. This mono red deck, Sanctifier and Vex, seems pretty good. So does Core Firewalker. Fatal Push versus the Ragavan strat. Tide Hollow Scholar seems really difficult to cast. Once again, sort of Feast and Famine out. Maybe I do want Sorin here. If this deck goes a little bigger. Sorin's the kind of card that can dominate a mid-game. To rock. The protections don't matter here. The discard is cool, but I'm replacing this with a bunch of better 2-drops. I want all of my discard spells, and I think I do want the additional Fatal Push. Do I want all my Dams? Do I want all my Voidwalkers? And if they're a only odd number spell deck, then they're going to have a lot of 1-drops and then 3-drops. So Fatal Push will either be all the way on or need Revolt. and there's like a whole mana value that their creatures can't be. But we saw Ragavan and a token creature. Fatal Push found targets on both of those. All right, maybe I will back off of Sorin. Sorry, Sorin. I tried, buddy. Wandering Emperor I actually can't cast with Blood Moon in play. I like Anguished Unmaking because I can float mana and then take out the Blood Moon. Vindicate. Are you too slow? I mean, Vindicate can take out some Planeswalker. I think I'm going to cut a Dam and a Thoughtseize. As much as I like the Disruption, I have concerns about it, drawing it in the mid-game when we need a spell. Okay, prioritize basic lands and get on board ahead of my opponent. I have no lands at all in this hand. I'm going to mulligan. This one doesn't have any basic lands. It does have turn 2 Sanctifier. I guess I'll keep this. It sucks that Shattered Sanctum is my land. Shattered Sanctum, Fetid Heath are lands that just don't cast a spell on turn 1. I'm going to send one of these Kaya's Guiles and play my Sanctum and sadly pass. Okay, I drew another land. That's good. I'm going to get Sanctifier in. Just put this wall up. And then next turn I can Inquisition them plus cast Stoneforge. I don't, or they could, yeah, there's not a way in an Obosh deck to get Blood Moon into play on turn 2 without a turn 1 play. There is Desperate Ritual in the format, but this deck can't play it. Inquisition you. The Blood Moon is there. So is the Magus of the Moon. Yikes. 2 Bone Crusher Giants, a second Blast Zone. I'm actually going to take Fable of the Mirror Breaker, or damage can't be prevented this turn. That actually kills my Sanctifier. Like, if they attack with Ragavan, I block, and then they crush targeting me. Then damage can't be prevented. That includes damage from protection. I'm going to take the Fable. I'm actually most worried about that one. And then play Stoneforge. Didn't come up with a basic land anywhere, and they had 2 Blood Moons. Tough crowd. I'm going to get Sword of Fire and Ice. That one I can play and equip and then take over the game with, even under a Blood Moon. And if they attack with Ragavan, I'm actually going to block with Stoneforge Mystic. They should stomp Ragavan pre-combat, or stomp Stoneforge pre-combat. Oh, they should play this. Alright, they're betting I don't know the rules. Block. Get that rag off the table. Second Blast Zone. Blast Zone's also a clean answer to Sanctifier, but if they Blood Moon, they lose it. Alright, just playing the 4-3. Okay. That gives me a turn to operate. Kaya's Guile. Each opponent sacks a creature, make a 1-1. Get that out of there, play my Godless Shrine, and attack for 2. Yeah, they're trying to get clever because I played around their Stomp. Yeah, the play last turn was definitely Stomp, Stoneforge pre-combat, and then attack into Sanctifier. Right, Magus is in, that's fine. That turns off the Blast Zones. Come on, land off the top. Wandering Emperor tilt. It's fine. I'll just sword you next turn. And I'm going to keep pushing for damage. I should have attacked with Sanctifier. Whoops. Made it clear I'm not blocking. And they can't stomp right now. That would have been the time to do it. Still not blocking. I know how this works. I could Solitude. I could pitch cast Solitude on Magus if I care, but I don't. Fracture, interesting. Equip sword to the creature that can't die. Attack with my creatures. So Kenzan makes 2 1/1 spirit tokens. Okay, these are colorless creatures. That's cool. Fair enough. Just gonna tread water for a minute. Fable, I hate that. That does tap them out of Stomp, though. I can move my sword over. I get got by Lava Spike. But I don't think that's a card I'm going to play around here. Lightning Bolt. Okay. That does work. Well played. Now my creature's actually too big to die to Stomp. Maybe I should just be blocking. The alternative is... Oh, I can take a super aggressive line here. I can pitch cast Wandering Emperor, clear Spirit Token, attack you, shoot Magus of the Moon, fetch for a basic, and have a basic in the game. And I can fracture the Fable on the way through. That actually sounds great. And I don't like pitch casting Solitude onto a spirit token, but what we got to work with. Take out your spirit, attack you, zap your Magus. And I draw a card, Kaya's Guile. Cool. I could hold up Fracture for the Blood Moon. Or Kaya's Guile for whatever happens here. Yeah, I'm actually interested in that. I don't need to destroy Fable. Not yet. They could discard the Blood Moon if they're just off that plan. Oh, they kept all their cards. They're still trying to moon me. Shattering Spree. Shit. That's annoying. Okay. A Bone Crusher versus Goblin. Does the treasure matter? In mana always matters. Wait, where'd their hand go? Oh, the cards just don't go to the graveyard. They got rid of the Blood Moon. So I could just Kaya's Guile now. Clear out this Goblin idiot. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to Guile for sacrifice and make a 1/1 before they can get a treasure. Their hand is Bone Crusher Giant right now. Fatal Push. They can charge up Blast Zone, clear my Sanctifier. I can fracture the Fable or the Kiki Jiki or whatever. If they use Blast Zone, then I can Fatal Push the Kiki Jiki or the Bone Crusher. I'm going to need another threat here. I'm just going to untap and take my turn. Alright, that's a threat someday. Attack with my permanents. Alright, all the damage got through. I like that. And I'm going to pass priority here. Oh, they charged the other Blast Zone instead of popping the first one. Interesting. I'm going to Fracture Reflection right now. Just don't want that creature in play. Stomp my creature. Fatal Push with a little help can destroy the Bone Crusher. I feel this one's starting to destabilize. I'm going to need to hit land drops to Cauldra or just do something else here. Alright, there's a black mana under a future Blood Moon. And it's also the Revolt to kill the Bone Crusher. Fully expect the Blast Zone here. Yep, there it is. Another Blood Moon. I'll get my Swamp. I do play them. Okay, any land gets me Cauldra. I can cast most of the spells in my deck. Not that one. Shit. Okay. I drew one of the spells in my deck I can't cast. There's this Bone Crusher from exile. Come on, land. Oh my god. Not like this. And Fable. I might have to Fatal Push this Goblin Shaman token. Yeah, I'm going to cast the spell I can cast. My plan is to jam this Cauldra anyway and win the race. Let's try to do that. Come on, castable spells. Oh no, this Blood Moon! Life is Pain. I don't play a second lanes. I guess boarding in multiple pip colored things. Obosh in the hand. Now even if I draw the land, Caudra's on defense. Alright, deck. Well, on time to not die, but if I attack, I lose. Oh no. Bummer. And Fable's flipping now. What do I need to do here? I need to, like, clear the Blood Moon and stick the Core Firewalker. Yeah, there's Obosh. Alright, come on, deck. Something helpful. Kaya's Guile would be great. Wow, yeah, we just got Blood Mooned out. Lost the trophy, and we are Deadzo's next turn. That land came one turn too late. I would have won the race before the Obosh, but I don't win it in this circumstance. I guess I can play like they have nothing, or play like they're going to play careful, and hope that they mess up somehow. Pyrite Spellbomb. Okay, that just deals 4 to me. If they have like Lightning Bolt in hand, they don't even need to attack or do anything. They can just attack with the creatures that are in play. Yeah, they don't have to do anything. Oh. Alright, deck. Another chance has been given. Let me clear this Blood Moon and do something. Ah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, let's hope that they keep playing scared, because I need them to. Or no, what they do here is they end step make a copy of Bone Crusher Giant, Then go into their turn with a million different attackers. Yeah, and now they know they're safe. Double color cards off the top twice when a land wins the game. All right, that's Magic. I should block the real one. Not that it matters. GG, opponent. Blocked my trophy in the final round with big Obosh red. Not a bad showing for this homebrew. And not that black-white Stoneforge Mystic has never been seen before in Magic, but this particular configuration, the really heavy equipment package, the mid-range nature of this, I don't see anyone else playing a deck quite like this one out in the metagame right now. And we started out 4-0, 8-0 against a bunch of decks and ended up losing to Blood Moon in a deck that packs 4 basic lands and a bunch of ways to remove Blood Moon. But that's Magic. Can't be mad about it. After playing the league, Sorin basically never did anything. Probably just want a second Wandering Emperor. Maybe you want a second Plains so you can have an out to cast all the spells in your deck under Blood Moon. People are main decking Blood Moons these days too. It's nasty out there. I'm going to cut a Shattered Sanctum and add a Plains. This one coming into play tapped in the early game. Came up once or twice. Just 5 basics now, and enough basics to actually cast every spell in the deck under Blood Moon, and we have the fetch lands to put it together. Just a small adjustment there, but I think it's a good one. Sword of Feast and Famine never came up in our league. Sorin, not great. Probably just want Wandering Emperor or Solitude. Just some other top-end thing that interacts with the format better. The Anguished Unmaking is cool, but you probably just want to main deck the 4th Kaya's Guile. That's another flex slot. Though we didn't really play against the matchups Anguished Unmaking would really help you in. Like Tron, like taking out Karn Liberated or similar. You could just play 2 Vindicates. Not being an instant makes it so it doesn't answer Blood Moon or Primeval Titan during combat. Unmaking is pretty unique in its both range and the fact it's an instant. This is a powerful card. But Kaya's Guile is good against the Primeval Titan stuff. Vindicate's good against the Tron stuff. Vindicate's probably better against Tron because you can hit the actual lands as they develop. I would consider Unmaking a flex slot. You can make different decisions there, and Sword of Feast and Famine and Sorin can become just other cards. I'm going to sign that one off here. This was a good showing for this deck. We used most of the sideboard cards, and we can see how this would line up against the format. Dauthi Voidwalker did a lot of work. Most decks aren't used to playing against this much removal. And Kaldra just won almost every game it came into play in. Nobody's really ready to answer a Kaldra these days. The 4-color decks just lost Yorion, and Prismatic Ending is looking for a new home in the format. There might be some Ottawaras kicking around, Teferis, but Teferi and Prismatic Ending are the big answers to a Kaldra, and those are currently listless until they find a new home to land in. And this was Orzhov Stoneblade from Alexa and Michael. I think we did a good job brewing it. Glad it put up the result that it did. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to work on a deck with me. That's also a service I offer, just like Alexa and Michael did. Feel free to reach out through my contact info in the video description. And check out the Patreon and all the other stuff that helps the channel in the video description as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.